Doctor Strange is the newest movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and once again, Marvel has a hit on their hands, and a very excellent film. I really don't know when Marvel is going to fail.
How do I get from here to there?
How did you become a doctor?
Study and practice, years of it. There's a strength to him. But is he ready?
They're on an incredible streak. And, honestly, even the films that aren't as great are still good films. Like, they don't have a bad one among them. They have ones that are kind of mediocre. But this one is among the better ones. Like, it's tough to rank them, but I'd probably put it in the top 5, right around number 5. With I probably go Guardians of the Galaxy, Civil War, Avengers, Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and Ant-Man. Or Iron Man. I forgot. Iron Man probably. Like, Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange are right around there for me. This film was directed by Scott Derrickson, who really hadn't done that much else. He previously directed the excellent horror film Sinister, but other than that, he doesn't have too many good films on his record. However, now he has Doctor Strange, and I'd probably say it's his best film. Doctor Strange is one of Marvel's lesser-known heroes, and he hasn't had a standalone comic for a long time, but earlier this year they started an excellent standalone Doctor Strange comic based on the end of magic, where these other dimensional beings that believe only in science come and trying to kill everything magic across the whole dimension, the whole multiverse. And if you're in the comics or you're looking for a new comic to read, I would highly recommend them. They're penned by Jason Aaron, and he does a lot of the best storylines in the modern Marvel comics. Doctor Strange, generally, he's more of a team player. Like, if you need some expert in the magical arts, they bring him in, and he also plays in some of the Avengers. He was one of the original first Defenders. He's also a part of the Illuminati in the comic series, which are like the best minds of the Marvel universe. You get together and try to stop whatever problems may be coming to Earth. I was incredibly excited for this film, so much so that I made over a 2-hour trip to the nearest IMAX to see it there. And if you have an IMAX near you, I would highly recommend you see it in one of them, because this is one of the best movies I've seen in IMAX. Like, probably behind Guardians of the Galaxy. And, these two movies are kind of similar. They're Marvel, they're weird. And they have some humor, but they're also some of the best cinematography you'll see in a movie. So the setup for Doctor Strange is that he is a neurological surgeon, and he's the best in his field. And he's an arrogant doctor, kind of like House. And you see him in the beginning of the movie, and you see him working a little bit in, playing around in people's brains and saving people. But at the same time, you see he's very arrogant. He'll only work on cases that are interesting to him and that won't affect his perfect record. That he doesn't want to have someone that's not fixed by him. So if he doesn't like a case, like, even if they deserve help, he'll just ignore him. He'll just move on to someone else that interests him more. And in the beginning of the film, you'll see him, he is driving and looking at new cases, and he's refusing ones that don't interest him. And he sees one that he likes, and they have him send over the brain scans, and he's looking at him while driving like 800 miles per hour on the curvy road, and he jens off the side of the road and into a lake, with his hands going into the dashboard and destroying them. And his hands are so important to him that he pretty much suffers a complete breakdown, and he tries everything possible in Western medicine to fix his hands. And when that fails, he goes in search of more Eastern medicine or mysticism. And that's the setup for the movie. So once he gets to this mystical kind of otherworldly training section of the movie, he meets a lot of interesting characters, like the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, and Carl Mordo, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Wong, played by Benedict Wong. Right at this point in the movie is one of the best parts of the movie, where Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One kind of knocks him in his third eye and opens his brain up to this magical world. And this kind of like goes through like all the dimensions and like the universe and becoming aware of everything that's going on in this world. And it's really trippy, and it's really beautiful, and it's really incredible to watch. I'm looking forward to see this movie again, because that's how good it was. Although I probably won't go see it in IMAX, even though it'd be awesome again. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange is an excellent casting. And, I really think he's a perfect fit for the character. He looks just like him from the comic, and he plays him excellently. But, right around this area where he's starting to train in the mystical arts is one of my few gripes with the film. And that's, it feels like they're trying to fit a huge film into a relatively short time frame. The Marvel movies, they don't want to go too long. I think the movie slightly suffered from it. They're trying to tell this whole origin story in a short amount of time, and they're introducing the villains, this world, this character. They're introducing so much that they lose some of it. And I really want to see a montage, because you don't really see much of a training montage. Like, this movie is very inspired by Batman Begins and by Inception. Obviously, he loves the director Christopher Nolan, whoever either the director or the writer of the film, or they all love him, because they very not, I won't say like a copy, but they're definitely inspired by this movie. I can imagine when whoever was pitching this film said, like, imagine it's gonna be like Batman Begins and Inception, and it's gonna be all Marvel, and it's gonna be magic, it's gonna be like Harry Potter, it's gonna be amazing. And it's good, like it is amazing, but at the same time, some of the influence are a little obvious. However, while the Inception-like battle scenes are possibly better than Inception, I mean, they're different, but I like them more probably. The Batman Begins training sequence is much better than Doctor Strange. Because in Batman Begins, you kind of feel like a lot of time has passed. Like, they do the whole training montage, and you get the feeling that years have passed. And in Doctor Strange, I really have no idea how much time passed. Like, it could have been a week, or it could have been years. Like, there's no sign of how long it's been. And I try to get around someone saying that, oh, he's a natural, or he has photographic memory. But it doesn't really gel with the fact that, they show him failing at a simple task that all of the other students are succeeding at with no problem. And that's just mating a portal with this ring, and then they do this thing, and they make a portal. However, Doctor Strange is barely able to bring up some sparks. And then, the Asian One sends him to the Mount Everest and say, okay, and then to survive, you have to portal back to the training area. And after that, he's immediately a master at using the portal. Because the very next scene is him using the portal to mess with the librarian and going in and like taking all the books, like, and even the one that the librarian's reading. And it's funny and it's a really cool scene, but at the same time, you almost feel like Doctor Strange didn't earn this power. I really wanted to see more of him training, or more of this world. Maybe another one of a scene where he's like seeing the world for what it actually is. Like, it's not just science, it's magical. Like seeing all the different realities that we have. Like, I wanted to see more of that before he's all of a sudden a master of magic. So pretty quickly after that, you get into the meat of the film, and you learn more about Caecilius, which is played by very well by Mads Mikkelsen, who is an amazing actor. And and you also see the Eye of Agamotto, which, if anyone is kind of stays up to what's going on with the MCU, pretty much everyone that suspected that, yeah, I'm sure that has the Infinity Stone of the time gem, in that, and that's how he controls time. That's what it is. I mean, you say that, it might be a little spoiler, but if you saw the trailer, or if you saw a picture, then you know that that's a time gem. But every movie has to have before the Infinity War, it's about every movie has to have an Infinity Gem in it. Really kind of to build up to that Avengers film. And once the action really starts kicking in, it is a very good film. Like, the action is good. Like, it's kind of inspired by Harry Potter, some of the magic from that, but also has some martial arts feeling to it. You even have a little bit of a cool fight scene from Scott Adkins, who is kind of a modern day Jean-Claude Van Damme. Even though he doesn't really have too many movies to show his martial arts in, like he would in the 80s or 90s. However, even in these action scenes and really like a lot of drama scenes, they have this kind of humor interspersed in between them. And it was funny, and I liked it, but at the same time, it sometimes messed with the feel of the film. Like, yeah, I know it's funny, but you don't have to break up the pacing of the scene with a joke. But at the same time, I like that, and I like, the comics usually have a sense of humor, even if it's dark, and I love that the Marvel movies have it too. And one of the biggest sources of humor is the cape that he gets like halfway through the film, and there's a lot of excellent scenes with the cape of levitation. I think it has another name, but I'm drawing a blank on it right now. And it's its own character, and it's a lot of fun. One of the biggest weaknesses of the Marvel films is that they spend so much time on the heroes that a lot of times the villains kind of fall to the wayside. They're kind of like the baddie that they have to defeat. They don't really give them a reason for why they're bad. And this one has a little bit of it, but Caecilius, they give him enough of a backstory, enough of a reason why he's doing it, that I think is one of the better villains in the MCU so far. Especially there's one scene where, like, he's kind of explaining why he's doing what he's doing, and you see like one tear like going down his messed up purple eyes, and it's almost touching, but it's really powerful. And that while I would have liked to know more about him, and maybe even like have more interactions with Karl Mordo or the Ancient One, for like maybe he was the Doctor Strange before. Like he was the one the Ancient One was planning on passing the reins of power onto. Like when and I would have liked more of that, but what we got, I really liked. So I won't spoil the ending at all, but I will say it's one of the better endings of the MCU. Like, it's like you think it's gonna be like another one of those giant beams in the sky moments that so many of the comic book movies have had recently, but it turns into something completely different, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it reminded me more of like a comic book, like how they might have solved a problem. They might have had a whole issue of that ending like playing out, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it reminded me very slightly of the Guardians of the Galaxy, again, where it could have the ending go one way and it goes a different way. Like, it has an interesting take on it, and it's a really fun and really crazy and really interesting way to play the whole climax of the movie. So in closing, I would definitely recommend you see Doctor Strange. And if you have an IMAX, I definitely recommend you seeing it on the IMAX. Like, it's worth the extra money to see it in IMAX. Because, I think almost an hour of the film was made explicitly for IMAX. Like, you see, it goes to the whole giant resolution, and it's really excellent. So even if you don't have IMAX, you see it in the movie theaters, because see it at the biggest screen that you can find, because it really improves the visuals, that you really kind of get immersed into it. And I'd probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. Like, I have to see it again and see how it holds up, but I'm thinking that it's really an excellent movie, and I absolutely loved it. Thanks for watching.